The world watches, holds its breath. Every news bulletin, every headline, every whispered conversation carries the weight of uncertainty. People from all walks of life, from bustling cities to quiet towns, are united by a common thread of anxiety. A chill wind blows from the east, carrying with it the specter of nuclear conflict. The skies darken and the air grows heavy with the tension of what might come. The once peaceful landscapes now seem ominous, as if nature itself is bracing for impact. Russia, embroiled in a grueling war in Ukraine, has rattled its nuclear saber. The doctrine has shifted. Military parades showcase their might, a stark reminder of the power they wield. The world watches as soldiers march and missiles roll by, a display of strength and a warning to all. The unthinkable is no longer impossible. Explosions that once seemed confined to history books now haunt our present. In meeting rooms around the world, leaders grapple with the gravity of the situation, while bunkers are prepared for the worst-case scenario. Fear is a potent weapon. Russia knows this. Propaganda posters flood the streets and military forces remain on high alert. The atmosphere is charged with dread as the populace is reminded of the ever-present threat. The recent revisions to its nuclear doctrine are a stark message to the West. Official documents are signed and press conferences held, each word carefully chosen to convey a message of defiance and readiness. Military strategists huddle, planning their next moves. A line has been drawn. This line, both literal and symbolic, marks the boundary of tolerance. It is a warning, a declaration that certain actions will not be tolerated. Cross it and face the consequences. The missile launch sequences are a grim reminder of the potential aftermath. Diplomatic standoffs grow more tense as the world teeters on the edge of a precipice, hoping for peace but preparing for conflict. The new doctrine is a departure from the past. It represents a significant shift in military strategy, one that could alter the balance of power on a global scale. It lowers the threshold for nuclear weapon use, making the once unthinkable now a potential reality. This change has far-reaching consequences for international security. No longer is it just about retaliation. The doctrine now includes preemptive strikes, fundamentally changing the rules of engagement. Now, even a conventional attack on Russian soil, if deemed existential, could trigger a nuclear response. This raises the stakes for any conflict involving Russia. The reasons behind this shift are complex. Analysts and experts are divided on the motivations and implications. Some point to the West's support of Ukraine, the flow of weapons and intelligence. They argue that this has heightened tensions and pushed Russia to adopt a more aggressive stance. Others see it as a sign of desperation, a cornered animal baring its teeth. They believe that Russia feels increasingly isolated and threatened, leading to more extreme measures. Whatever the reason, the world is left to grapple with the implications. The international community must now navigate a more dangerous and unpredictable landscape, where the threat of nuclear conflict looms larger than ever before. Is Russia bluffing, or is it truly prepared to unleash nuclear Armageddon? Experts are divided. Some see the rhetoric as just that, rhetoric, a means of deterring Western intervention. Others are not so sure. They point to Putin's increasingly bellicose language, his warnings of consequences you have never seen. The line between bluster and genuine intent is becoming increasingly blurred. Section 4. The Ghost of Mad, a Doctrine on Trial. The Cold War era was defined by a chilling doctrine known as mutually assured destruction, or MAD. This doctrine held the world in a precarious balance where the threat of total annihilation was the only thing preventing nuclear war. For decades, the world lived under the shadow of mutually assured destruction. The very existence of this doctrine meant that any nuclear aggression would be met with an equal or greater response, ensuring mutual destruction. The very horror of nuclear war, the certainty of retaliation, served as a deterrent. Leaders knew that launching a nuclear attack would lead to their own nation's destruction, creating a tense but stable peace. But what if that certainty no longer exists? What if the balance that kept the world safe for so long is now in jeopardy? The modern geopolitical landscape is fraught with new challenges and uncertainties. Putin's recent pronouncements suggest a willingness to contemplate the unthinkable. His rhetoric and actions indicate a shift in the traditional understanding of nuclear deterrence, to believe that nuclear weapons can be used in a limited manner without triggering global annihilation. This new line of thinking is not only risky but also fundamentally flawed. It is a dangerous gamble, one that could have catastrophic consequences. The idea that a nuclear conflict could be contained is a perilous illusion, one that threatens the very fabric of global security. Section 5, A World on Edge, the Diplomatic Tightrope. The international community is walking a tightrope. Condemnation of Russia's actions must be swift and unequivocal. Yet provoking a desperate and unpredictable adversary is fraught with risk. The channels of communication must remain open. Dialogue, however difficult, is the only way to avert disaster. The stakes are simply too high for anything less. Section 6, The Unthinkable, A Plea for Reason. We stand at a precipice. The future of humanity hangs in the balance. The choice before us is clear, reason or ruin. Let us choose wisely. Let us choose peace. Let us choose life. The alternative is too terrible to contemplate.